Greetings, distinguished guests and fellow Toastmasters. My name is Farruk. I am an entrepreneur and I consider myself to be a jack of all trades and master of none kind of person. I have been a software engineer, I have been a people connector and a salesperson. And if I have to summarize myself in a single line, it would be that I like stories. Ever since my childhood, as far as back as I can remember, I have been a very keen collector of antiques, be it a very decades old book of Lord of the Rings that I would find from a bookshop, or be it very unique coins, notes from different regions, different time periods, different countries. I would just hoard them and keep them, treasure them, look them, each having their own story to tell. Likewise, I have been very interested in the history of humankind, how we have evolved from simple hunter-gatherer societies to agrarian societies and to the current fabric of society in which we currently live in. Likewise, I am also fascinated by very fictional worlds such as Lord of the Rings, Dune, Warhammer 40K, Star Wars, and let's say for example Lord of the Rings. Not only would be I want to read the stuff, I would study how, let's say, Tolkien, its writer, created a special elvish language just for that particular race in his old world, how he would get inspired from the events of World War II and how he would mirror them in his whole world. And I can probably just go on talk about this stuff for an hours and hours, and for that we'll probably need to discuss that some other day. And like most of the people here, I had to make a very important decision of my life back in 2017. That is, what do I want to do as a professional person? At that time, I used to be a kind of the person who played a lot of video games. Video games like Mass Effect, Skyrim, Doom. And I would be always fascinated how people can create such worlds. They can code such systems, such mechanisms, such gameplay. I was always fascinated. I wanted to learn how I can make those things. And as such, I decided to pursue my career in degree in computer science. After completing my degree in computer science from FAST, I started my career as an embedded engineer in Sedenius Technologies, a German-based company where I worked on multiple programs such as coding, letting robots know how can they put very sensitive stuff like glass in a very precise position in a 3D framework, and creating multiple user interfaces for multiple different embedded devices. After working there for around 6 to 7 months, I, along my friends who I had known since my university time, we started our startup called Antimatter. The story behind it is actually pretty funny. So in our final year trip, we faced a problem that we wanted to share all our image, videos, unique memories in one place, and we faced a problem. We said, hey, let's make an app around it. And after our full-time jobs, in the nights, we'll work on it and on the weekends. However, after a month or two, it became very hectic for us. And we knew to take it very seriously, either we'll need to quit our very high-paying, stable jobs or kill this idea entirely. At that time, I thought to myself, what would make a very good story that I can tell 2-3 decades down to my grandkids? And for me, that was starting my own startup. And as such, I gave my resignation from my job at Sedenius, and my partners followed suit. By the way, this is not something I would recommend anyone as a career advice. It's much better to spend time in industry. And we were kind of lucky, as in we were very young, not that much financial obligations. And back in 2021, especially in the tech sector, the market was very good. We could have easily found new jobs. So there was also that thing in our mind as well. Fast forward to 4 years, we currently are a service-based company. We primarily create around AI agents and service for our clients. Just this year alone, we have created around 20 plus such systems across 5 different industries. And some of the, and we have right now active 20 clients. Some of the clients that I can probably name are University of Chicago from US. One is 3Echo, that works directly with Costco and L'Oreal, and they have around 200 million revenue, annual recurring revenue. And Savoya, they have around 60 million annual recurring revenue, and they operate in the travel space. And we are currently a team of 60 people, and our own annual recurring revenue is around 1 million. And so the reason why I primarily came here, joined like Toastmaster, is that it was a recommendation from my mentor. So again, I had that kind of like a shy coding in the like in the trench working. So I needed to like have that extrovert personality, and he said this is a very good platform for you to build your confidence, your outgoing skills, and like public speaking. And that's why I'm here, and I'm looking forward to love and learn from excellent people here.
Yes, today we are being amazed by a beautiful speech being delivered by Toastmaster Furruk. It was an icebreaker, and I must tell you that whenever I'm evaluating an icebreaker, it makes me nostalgic, because every Toastmaster has to cross this barrier of coming up on the stage for this first time and gave a prepared speech. So it really makes me nostalgic, and I remember my time of giving my icebreaker, and I was really wishing the bare minimum I was wishing that a snake may appear in the room and everybody rush away, and only 2, 3, 4 strong-hearted people should be sitting in the room, and then I should be giving a speech. But nothing there of that sort was visible from the speech of Toastmaster Furruk. Toastmaster Furruk, you came on the stage, and right in the first 30 seconds, you greeted your audience, you informed your audience that you are an entrepreneur, and then number 3, you shed light about your personality, that you are jack of all trade and master of none. So right at the beginning, you spoke about so many things of your life, and you introduce yourself in a very initial few 30 seconds. Then you spoke about your early life. You told us that you had the passion for collection of antiques. That was really lovely and impressive. And then you spoke about your interest in human history, that how we were, our ancestors were gatherers and hunters, and how they evolved over from that time to this AI time. And then you spoke about your your interest in fictional world. You spoke about so many characters, and honestly speaking, personally, I didn't know even a single thing about all those characters, and that really make me feel like a generation gap, that in our time there was no such fictional character at that time. Perhaps I didn't know it at that time. So then you came fast forward about your education. You studied from fast, you had an interest in computer sciences, and you got a degree in computer sciences. And then you spoke about your professional life and about your job. Perhaps you started your job from a German company in IT, and then you switched from that to a startup, and you also informed us that what events led to that startup, that how you have been able to come up with that idea of coming and to develop that startup. So overall, it was a wonderful icebreaker. Now I would like to shed some lights on the areas of strength. In my opinion, it was a prepared speech, because it was part of that kind of a segment of today's session. It was called a prepared speech, and by all means it was a prepared speech. You had a proper opening, proper body, and towards the end you have a proper conclusion. And then number 2, and most important, the objective of the icebreaker. You had to introduce yourself, and you introduced in a very well manner. You spoke about almost every aspect of your life. Then attention of your audience, it was right from the beginning, everybody wanted to listen to you. So that was all the strengths. And then you have a beautiful voice, a very catchy voice. Areas of improvement, I would say none, because for an icebreaker especially, it was almost a very good speech, but a bit of a space movement that will really give chances to have pauses in your speech, because pauses are important. Overall, it was a wonderful speech. Keep coming and keep inspiring us. Thank you so much.